Damo, you big sweet tooth.
Yes, MP, you chocoholic.
So Naughty But Nice, we're a hit at the Wellness Summit and I want more.
Well, how does 20 recipes in their free ebook Heavenly Healthy Desserts sound, MP?
Jeepers, Damo, I'm loving that.
Or you can hop on down to their brand new cafe, Selection Cafe in South Melbourne, and receive 10% off your favourite healthy desserts.
Woohoo! To do so, go to sonaughtybutnice.com/couch and fill in your details to receive your free ebook and discount voucher.
That's www.sonaughtybutnice.com/couch.
So Naughty But Nice, delicious nutrition.
TheWellnessCouch.com, streaming wellness into your lives. This is Up for a Chat with Cindy O'Meara, Karen Smith, and Kim Morrison.
Here we are, up for a chat about the hottest topics that are important to you, inspiring you to awaken the change within. I'm Karen Smith.
I'm Kim Morrison.
And I'm Cindy O'Meara.
And welcome to today's show. You know, we are all about sharing our favourite people with you, and it was kind of a no-brainer when we sat down, the three of us, and thought, who is somebody that we are just surprised by all the time, and who is somebody that is just a part of the family that we know and love. And this particular fellow's name came up within a flash. So we want to share him with you. His name is Stuart Gough, and it's Gough when you go searching for him through social media, and we're going to give you all of his contact details because you guys are going to want to follow him as much as we have followed him, and he's followed us. It feels like there's been this mutual love relationship right from the very first time that we all met you, Stuart. So thank you for being on the show, and thank you for sharing yourself with us today.
Hi, good afternoon, ladies.
So don't worry to be too formal, Tiger.
No, that's all good.
We want to know who you are. We want to know how you found us. We want to know what goes on in your world and what makes you a man with such a generous and beautiful soul.
Actually, Stuart, before you answer that, Stuart, this is really funny. Mm-hmm. So I always ask when I'm speaking, so who in the room, listens to Up for a Chat? And all the women put their hands up. And no man puts their hand up. And I said, don't worry, we have one man fan. His name is Stuart Gough.
I'm a massive girl.
I say your name at every talk, just saying, that's all right, we've got Stuart Gough, we don't care about you rest of you boys.
Yeah. Who needs you?
Must be the estrogen levels.
So Stuart, tell us your story. Where we heard about you was through the Wellness Couch and everything. Can you give us a brief background on where you were at and what's brought you to where you are today?
So I guess nearly 3 years ago now, I thought, what's this thing called a podcast? And as we all say, we go down the rabbit hole. And it sort of took me 3 or 4 weeks to listen to 90 episodes of the Wellness Guys, which I needed to catch up on. And I just thought, wow, something's clicked, and I've just got to suck as much information as I can in, day out. I just didn't speak to family. I didn't want to know anyone. I just had these headphones in, catching up on this Wellness Guys stuff, and it all just made sense and was ticking all the boxes, and I just hadn't heard this sort of information, and the stuff the boys were sharing just resonated so much. And then it sort of led to a podcast where Cindy popped up. I think that was 42 and 43 as a double episode, and again, what she was saying was revolutionary and just made sense. And I thought, okay, I've got to follow this chick. And I guess to say the rest is history. And I listened to every episode of every genre on the couch, and it's just been a wealth of knowledge, which has started me off on my short journey of 3 years of restoring my health that was pretty well in a bad state. I sort of let myself go and really didn't know any direction, and I'd sort of hit a bit of a rock bottom with 40 kilos of excess weight and a spinal condition that really went to town on me one night. I'd fractured my back years ago, and being the hero, I did nothing about it. I just kept doing my sort of manly physical job as a carpet cleaning business owner, and we just sort of went out the door each day, relatively pain-free. But what had happened, thanks to Damien Christoph, he's the guy who picked it up for me. He's just a massive legend and an inspiration in my life. He sort of pinpointed that what I'd done, I'd hyperextended my spine. What had happened, I was sleeping on a lounge room floor. We were camping out. It was Easter. It was freezing cold. The fire had went out. We'd gone to bed with not much clothes on, just a T-shirt and some undies. And I woke up at 3 a.m. freezing, motherly cold. I jumped up like a cat in a cartoon and shivered and shaked. And that instant, I'd sort of hyperextended my spine, and it just didn't go back and just didn't knit to that exact cog. I was one cog out. Back in Sydney in bed that night, I thought, ooh, holy, something's not quite right here. But I put it in the back of my mind. I just put up with the pain and put everyone else first and put myself last. And over a couple of years, it just gnawed away at the cartilage. And December 2012, it went to town on me one night. I had, earthquakes, rock and roll, fireworks, back spasms after back spasm, and the ambos had to come and zonk me out and figure out what was going on. But I just gnawed away at the cartilage, and I had gave myself a 25% curvature of my spine with compression, and I looked like I'd had a genetic thing that popped up for years. And it took 3 visits to my neurosurgeon for me to re-educate him that it was something that I did, and I took total responsibility. It wasn't genetic. It never had a stitch of pain at all throughout my life. I've been pretty blessed that way. So I'd done something, and it was up to me to come up with a plan of how do I alleviate my back. I was sort of working, and I was coming home by 2 p.m. I was fatiguing, my back was spasming, my spine was like a skinny, newly planted tree with ropes holding it up, and my muscles were spasming each afternoon. So I was pretty well stuffed. I went down to sort of like 25% of my income there for a couple of months just to get by. I didn't know what to do. It was like I had tunnel vision. I just had to come home and concentrate hour by hour. 3 or 4 months of MRIs and bone scans and all sorts of stuff. I practically glowed in the dark from all the radiation, I guess. But combining that sort of diagnosis, which I wasn't happy with, the doctor put me on 12 painkillers a day because that's all he could do. I was pretty bulletproof. I could sort of go out and work, but when I came home and I hopped off the drugs on the weekend, it was a heightened pain, and I was just like, wow, this is not working. So the universe has provided me with the wellness guys, and that information sort of was come around at the right time and up for a chat. Everything just sort of molded into the right time, and I thought, how the hell am I going to lose 40 kilos to alleviate my spinal condition? I can't go to the gym. I can't pound the pavement because gravity was my worst nightmare. So I had to come up with a plan of, all you smart cookies who have the holistic and the alternative way of looking at health and wellness. And I just wasn't getting that answers from conventional dietitians or doctors, or it just didn't make sense. But everything you guys have and continue to do just resonates, and that's my lifestyle now. So I've shed the 50 kilos. I can work 24/7 now. I've practically removed the curvature of my spine. It's my MRI guy just shakes his head, and I'm educating him now. So yeah, it's just been a massive learning curve, and each day, on this journey, it never ends. You just day after day, and you're fine tuning it. You look. Now I'm doing Cindy's nutritional course. It's just a massive eye-opener of each day you just fine-tune it and have a look at that meal and go, how can I improve that? And then something, quite recently that's taken me a long time to catch up on is mindset. Mindset was something that, okay, I could fix my body's health. I could get that done pretty quick, but my mental side was always catching up. It was always in arrears, and it's been a massive learning curve of how the universe works and how you respect people and be grateful for everything in life. And I just probably didn't do any of that for the first 46 years of my life. And now all that's sort of coming into play as well. So it's a massive bonus, the weight loss, but it's the mental awakening, and it's the new journey and direction that my life's taking that's it's just unreal.
Oh my gosh. That was just stunning listening to you, Stuart. And the reason why is that what happened to you is that you were given information. You had to go out and do this yourself, but you were given the information and you flew with it. And, everyone's hat off to you, I would say, for what you've done. But you also give hope to other people out there that may have been in the same situation, maybe not even as bad as what you were. I didn't realize how bad things were for you. But that if you do focus and concentrate and act on a day-to-day basis and educate, then we can start to make changes to what is happening to ourselves. And so many people don't do that. What they do, Stuart, is that they think, all right, I'm just going to sit back and you just tell me what I've got to do, when I've got to do it, how I've got to do it, and not take that and the initial education and the initial education and then the action in order to do that. So that's
definitely.
It's a brilliant story. It really is. And I'll never forget when you came to Sydney and listened to me and we got a photo, and then 12 months later we got another photo. And you're a different man. You're not only in that you have lost that weight, but you're a different man in every way. It was like somebody new had stepped out of whatever was covering, that up. And I love watching your journey. It's just been a stunning journey to watch. And like I said, we all talk about you. We all see you as our beacon for men to do these things. So I know you're going to be an amazing ripple effect, and it's exciting to see. And I'm so excited you're in my nutrition program. We only have 2 men in our nutrition program, and we have 2. Can you believe it? 2.
I was only one till the other day. I thought, phew.
And then I noticed another one stepped in, so I'm very excited about that.
Thank you, Cindy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, each day I do go out and I'm representing myself, but I'm also representing you guys and what you've taught me. You've got to lead by example. There's no magic bullets. You've got to do it hour by hour, day by day, and I'm finding as a coach now, it's something I'm learning. People have to come to you. You can't go out and preach. And I've done a fair bit of soapboxing, but it's a learning curve. You've got to learn to back off and lead by example. And those who genuinely want to be helped will come to you. So every day I'm being more mindful of a coaching role and a leadership role. And the journey never ends.
Stuart, I want to ask you a question. Was there ever, you said that it was watching these guys, it was timing and everything. Was there actually an aha that you just went, that's it, this is what I got to do?
I think Cindy, you'll be pleased. I think it's food. We all say there's a lot of mindset percentage in it, but you've got to give your body the information to make the right decisions. And thankfully for me, I chose nutrition, and my diet wasn't that off track. It was, just the usual stuff that we're told, the processed foods, like that sugar film. We had that sort of heart tick stuff, and that sort of just fueled a lifestyle that was a bit out of whack. And now looking back, the nutrition that is just bang on for me. The mental cognition is huge. It allows you to have an informed opinion on what's going. If I hear and talk to people and they're just so confused, they're so foggy, and they just can't make a decision on what direction to take. And cleaning up the nutrition, the first thing was a massive awakening of mindset and cognition, which helps you, on a daily basis of making decisions and setting goals and being more in tune and aware with your body, listening to yourself. So being on the 12 to 14 painkillers a day, I didn't know who I was, and I made the decision to go cold turkey. And holy cow, did I figure out pretty quick where I was at. I was driving around looking for different sorts of back braces. I spent my days internet shopping, and this $150 job that looks stronger. And I hopped on planes. I had backboards. I had this stuff that I don't talk to people about, the pain was just excruciating, but it really did dissipate very quickly with the nutritional change. I did choose a ketogenic approach originally, the LCHF, and that was sort of something I chose. It's not for everyone, but that sort of gave me a mental cognition and a blood sugar regulation, and it seemed to bring all my hormones back in sync. So it doesn't matter which sort of approach you take, as long as it's healthy whole food ingredients, and you get rid of the crap, and you just put it all in there. You do change your outlook on life very quickly. And as I said, I couldn't go to the gym and cut calories and pound the pavement. I couldn't do that, and I didn't believe in that anyway because it never worked in the past. So you're definitely nutrition first, and that just gives you a mental awakening to fine-tune the rest of the problems that your life may be presenting.
I think a lot of... Sorry, Cindy, you go.
No, you yeah. Well, I just wanted to just say something about what Stuart said, and that was the ketogenic diet. So for people who just don't understand the ketogenic diet, it is a diet that is high in fat, very little carb, if none, sometimes, and with protein. And what it does is it does regulate your blood sugars. And one of the things, and I was just reading some research this morning, one of the things we're now learning is that type 3 diabetes, as it's now being termed, is what Alzheimer's and dementia is. And it's not something that just happens to you overnight. This is a slow progressive disease. And it's the sugar levels, and your brain actually regulates these sugar levels to a finer detail than what your body does. So any dysregulation in your sugar levels in your brain will inflame the brain and give you that foggy brain. And so what Stuart did by going on the ketogenic diet is he had clarity of mind. And when you have clarity of mind, then you're able to look at things so much more clearer, understand principles, know exactly where you're going. So then, like what Stuart's done is he's then gone to the mind stuff, because he's not only regulated his mind with food, but he's also done his body, and taken that 50 kilos off would have just completely changed hormones for you, Stuart. Your fat cells as a male holds estrogen, and you would just be, getting that to your body, and just it would be screwed completely with your hormones. So I just love,
yeah, definitely,
what you did. It was brilliant.
The man boobs are just about gone. I got a pretty good pecky chest now. So I'm just working on everything, and I just don't want to sort of pinpoint that the ketogenic's the way to go, but just the healthy whole foods and getting rid of the crap, and what I'm learning in the nutritional courses is plugging back more of the healthy whole foods and the fruit that I was scared of, and I was a little bit brainwashed being super low carb, but I'm just enjoying Mother Nature's finest, and it's okay to have a bit of fruit, and as long as it's not packaged in syrups and craps, and I'm just healthy whole foods right round.
Yeah. See, what you did, Stuart, is you did the hard yards first, and now you can start to enjoy every food, because sometimes we need to eliminate before we can come back to it. And the ketogenic diet the ketogenic diet is an evolutionary diet, as you know. It's a diet that was a survival diet when there were no carbs around, and that we had to eat blubber and muscle. Sorry, Karen, but we had to eat, muscle meats or liver and fat, because there was nothing around, and especially the Inuits. And for males, it's not as what am I trying to say? As for females, it's a little bit more dangerous than for males, because especially if a female wants to become pregnant, what the ketogenic diet does is put you into intermittent infertility, not complete infertility, but intermittent, because if there's no carbs around in the summer, then when the winter comes and you have no weight on you and you have a baby inside you, you and that baby will not survive. So it was a manipulative diet by nature rather than by man. And that's what I love about it. And we're just starting to learn this. And so you as a male, Stuart, manipulated your diet as opposed to nature making you manipulate it. And, that's what we need to start doing, is manipulating our diet, because nature no longer does it for us, because the winter never comes. We never have a winter in this day and age, because there is food available, forever. You could just... we're never going to lose that food in those supermarkets. It's a forever food. So that winter never comes. So well done.
And I think, in our 21st century lifestyle, even though the ketogenic diet is sort of like the gold standard in weight loss and hormone regulation, for me, the ketogenic approach does come with a bit of side effects. Like we do have our stress. We're not meant to jump in a car and drive 2 hours to work and be texting at the red lights. And there's so much bombardment of interference that maybe the Inuits and the cavemen people didn't have, which made that sort of lifestyle successful. But being on it for 3 years now, there are some drawbacks that I've found. I have, I'll be honest, I've taxed out my adrenal glands, my cortisol levels through the roof in the morning and the evenings. And, with some smart DNA testing, I've figured out that to fine tune it to the next level, I've got to add some selenium in and folinic acid, which I can't absorb vitamin B. And there's our lifestyle and our sort of epigenetics, which I'm learning is our roadblock, and coupled with the mindset stuff, it's just another ingredient which will take you to the next level of health.
Yeah. Are you suggesting that the things, just because my brother has taken on the ketogenic diet and he has struggled with weight for a long time, and I'd say it's more through poor choice than really, understanding. But from his point of view, it was the one diet that he looked at that made sense. Do you think it's a good one for men to have a look at? Like, because the fact that he can still have bacon and eggs, and the fact that he can eat lots of greens and lots of, he doesn't eat truckloads of meat, but he really is loving the fat side of it. He's dropped over 10 kilos in the last...
Yeah, we love our bacon and eggs. We were told that's bad for us. And, look, I did buy the 4-phase fat elimination, and it's still sitting in my cupboard. Mm-hmm. And I had a good look at it, and I thought, I really don't want to do these drops and cut the calories. It's not what I'm about. I believe in the philosophy. I've seen so many beautiful people thrive on that, but I needed some real man food, and I needed to have a steak and have now I'm having a lot more veggies, but cutting stuff out wasn't. I've always been a cranky bugger, so filling me up was going to make me happy. So I believe in that process too for correcting hormone and leptin sensitivity, and it's perfect for some, but for me and males in general, I think as long as you're not having the bread roll and you're not having the 5 beers with it, and just go super low carb and protein and complex carbohydrates, that ketogenic style, it just makes you happy. You're full, and I love my butter. Everything's cooked in butter and swimming in coconut oil, and you can't go wrong.
Mm. Yeah. I would never put my husband on the 4-phase, just so you know, Stuart, because he sounds exactly like you. Yeah, he sounds exactly like you. Would I be right in saying that, Kim Morrison?
Let's just say I would leave the country while he was doing it. Yes.
I think I'd give it a go now. Now I've got more education. I just didn't quite understand it. So I wouldn't steer someone away from it. But for me at that time, it was easier just to pick up a steak and have some bacon and eggs, just cut out the toast. And and my meals at the moment are just pretty basic. I'm having bulletproof coffee 5 days a week. That's my breakfast, and I'll whack a half an avocado in there, and I do put salt and pepper in it. I'm pretty weird and wacky. My lunches are pretty similar 3 days a week. There'll be 3 eggs, a handful of baby spinach, salt and pepper, half an avo. It's really basic, repetitive stuff, but I can handle it, and there's no confusion with food. If I have the same stuff 4 days a week, who cares? It's just food. I know what it's doing to my body. It's information. Before, I'd be cranky and hungry at 10:30 in the morning. I'd try to nibble the chair leg. I'd be that cranky. And now I just sail through the day, and it's 2:30 or 3:00 now. I haven't had my lunch, and I'm not hungry because you guys pulled me up on the side of the road with 2 minutes notice. Hey,
hey,
we like to.
Stuart.
I'll do anything for you guys.
I know how much you love the Wellness Boys, and let's face it, if they tune into this, if we have Damien, beautiful, gorgeous Brett, and beautiful, gorgeous the Lawrence Tam, if we had them tuning in, even Marcus Pierce, I know you love them, but why don't we just have a little bit of a moment about why you love us? Just give it to us.
Wow, this will be a double episode.
Yeah, well, we're waiting. It's not
so
on the show.
a triple episode. Oh, yeah, I just think the nutrition side of thing, that's where I fell in love with Cindy. It just we get each other. I don't know. It's just on the same page. Her philosophies and what I'm learning in her course. I'm just rereading stuff and getting goosebumps and going, wow, that's what I was meant to follow. And Karen, you're always trying to be the best person you can, and you want to bring that out in people. And I've learned so much from you, from Speakers Fast Track and everything you post, and the stuff you've got to share is just mind blowing, and it just keeps coming. So I get little snippets from both of you in different avenues, and then you've got gorgeous Kimmy, who's she's all over me. She thinks I'm a spunk, and she's a tart, and we have so much fun that way. It just balances it all out. And she's pretty scary. We go down to the summit, and I said to her last year, I said, man, you're scary. I really didn't know I thought you're just going to say the same old Cliffy Young thing. But you come up with a brand new topic, and I had goosebumps. You just don't know. She's unpredictable. You just don't know what she's going to come up with. But and the 3 years I followed all you guys, you girls, you've all grown organically too, and it's just been one big happy family. And the boys, I've just seen so much growth in everyone. We've all had our ups and downs, some more than others, and we all help each other and work through that. And you guys are just an extended family, so I've got to thank you all for that.
Stuart, that was one of the things that when we were talking about you before we got you on the call, it was, you're such an interested person, and every post that goes up, you're the first to make a comment, and every post that now my partner Matt makes, you make a comment, and you're so interested in people's lives and what they're doing and being a part of it. And it's actually a really rare trait that somebody is just doing that for no personal gain of their own, but just because of their pure interest in human beings.
Yeah, I just love it.
And you can tell it's just beautiful to be in your company, because you're so easy to be with, because you are so interested and you pay attention and you notice. And I think, as I'm saying this, it's all swinging back to, something that I've felt very strongly about, in that, the basis of our existence is what goes on for us on all planes, being physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, socially. It's the basis of our existence. And if we don't know all about those parts of ourselves, then there's a real question around the quality of the life that we're actually living. And it's kind of like, I was writing a presentation today and I was thinking about it, and I thought, if you have a camera, you want to know everything that you can know about the camera in order for it to work the best. And if you don't know how to work the camera and you don't know everything about it, then you're only going to get half of what that camera's capability is. And I look around at us as humans and I see that some of us only know 1/10 of ourselves, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all of that. We only know 1/10 of it. Some of us don't care at all. And it's all fine, but some of us know 100% or 90% or 80%, whatever it is. But our effort and our attention goes towards actually knowing ourselves so that we can live a more expanded existence on a day-to-day basis. And when I look at you, I see you as somebody who's not only doing that in the lives of others and helping other people do that. But you've been a shining example of that for yourself. You know, everything turned sideways and turtle for you, and you put your greatest effort and energy into knowing every component of yourself. And it shows. It shows in every interaction with you, every conversation with you, every glance at you. It shows that you are mastering your existence. It's awesome.
Yeah, just every day you just want to get up, and we all hear people we just bound out of bed, and we just, 5 o'clock, I'm up the other morning, I'm writing for 2 hours. Who am I? I just never did this years ago. I've found who I am.
Yeah.
I ain't stopping. It's never going to stop. I'm just going to keep. Each day is going to be, an improvement, and learn, and at the end of the day, journal of what didn't quite go right, and make that list for the next day. And there's just so many little 1% you can put in here and there, and at the end of the day, it all adds up to a massive improvement, and you just build on that. And it's just I'm loving life.
Do you keep a journal?
Yes, I do. Yep. I've got a beautiful wooden bound journal that was given to me like a beautiful friend, and I've learnt to journal through that. And it's just my time. It's just one of those sort of end of the day releases which unwinds me for bedtime. And it just you just figure out what you've done and what needs to be done, and some days you just write waffle, and other days you get passionate and you can write 2 pages in 5 seconds, and there's no set rhyme or rhythm. It just flows.
Stuart,
and
can
yeah,
I
it's
ask
just
you? Can I ask you if for any of the women listening to this who would love to think that their husbands could talk like you, or maybe even have an inkling of what you're talking about, what is it that we can do as women to support our men to even be open to the possibility of thinking like this? Or, I mean, my husband would be very open to journaling, but I've had personal mails and messages from people going, yeah, no, that's just so far from ever happening. Is it the fact that just some blokes never will, or is it just, do you think that they've never been exposed to it? And if it's because they've never been exposed to it, what can we do to make men feel more a part of this world?
I think, like most people have had a bit of an awakening, you've had to have some sort of hit rock bottom thing, like an illness or a tragedy or something that's made you sit up and take notice of, hey, life can be a bit different. And people like in a coaching environment, if people aren't ready, that they won't see this, and maybe their wives are just thinking they're getting ear bashed, and well, what would they know? What would she know? But I spoke to a guy the other day, and we spoke for an hour, and we really opened up because it was guy on guy, and he probably spoke to me like he doesn't speak to his wife, and he told me about his health journey, and he'd stuffed it up, and he was back on track. And I think men's issues is we don't open up, and we end up in a bit of a bad state. And maybe my niche market is catching up with blokes in their 40s and onwards who really don't know who they are. There's a lot of depression. There's a lot of Beyond Blue, and there's lots of men helps groups that we just need to sort of tap into the emotional side, which everyone's bottling up. And I'll look weird and wacky on posts, and I do some strange stuff. But hey, I'm getting it out there. I'm getting it off my chest, and that's all part of a health and wellness healing approach. If you bottle it all up and lock it all away, it just manifests into something bigger and nastier. And I think we've just got to teach people it's okay to open up, and who cares if you're a bit red faced, or who cares if you mess up. It's you learn from your mistakes, as I have big time, and you learn from that and move on. So yeah, just if you know someone who's got a bit of a health issue, now I just sort of stick my neck out and, hey, what's going on? Is there anything I can help you with? Or you'd be amazed if you just take the time and speak to people. And if someone says piss off, well, fair enough, but I'm put on this planet to serve people now. And what I've learned is just if I can help someone, then it helps me. So I'm always looking out for someone who may look like they need a bit of a hand.
You're just adorable.
Oh, yeah.
He is, isn't he? He's just perfect.
Oh, yeah.
You could just almost like there's nothing to say after all of that. I mean, where do you go?
I know. I'm just listening, and Stuart, I didn't realise how what your voice was like, and it's very easy to listen to, and you're making so much sense. And I am sure that there will be lots of proposals after this podcast.
Stuart, are you married? Are you married?
Yeah.
You are? Right.
Yes,
okay, good.
20-something years.
Okay, it's out there. Right, you are.
How's she coping with all your changes? Because sometimes
Yeah.
How long have we got? Yeah, no, you do create a bit of a widening of the gap if someone doesn't follow your journey. We've had some serious rocky times, and week to week it's not rosy. If someone's not on your journey, it's very hard to communicate meal times at a couple of different things you got to cook, and philosophies different. I'm getting so far down the rabbit hole. TV doesn't exist anymore for me. I'm off doing other things, and there is a problem with compatibility. But who knows? Like with my health and wellness journey, who knows where I'll be and who I'll be with and what I'll be doing in 3 years' time. You just can't. If a relationship's not serving you, then you've got to really take a good hard look at yourself. And I think I've had a lot of mental catch-up issues with relationships and friendships, and there's so much there which I've learnt and I've stuffed up, and I'm trying to correct, and there's things that you may not be able to solve, but if your journey is health and wellness and being true and authentic, then you've just got to go with your heart. If relationships dissolve, well, it's the decision that you're making right now is the best decision. The decision you make in 6 months' time might be a different decision, but I'm being a bit more selfish these days. I'm doing what I want to do. I still want to be a partner, but who knows? Down the track, you just don't know.
It sounds like you've become very present, not worrying about what's been, not worrying about what's to come. But it's interesting, isn't it, when we go on these journeys, and I agree with you, hitting rock bottom is sometimes one of the greatest places for awareness and transformation if you're aware and open to it. I know that's where my husband got his, and for some reason, even though I don't want every man or every person to have to endure that, I do think we take it for granted. I do think we take the privilege of eating. I do think we take for granted the privilege of a healthy body, or, women complain so much about their hair, their boobs, their legs, their stomachs, and yet talk to somebody or stand next to somebody who's got, major issues in any of those areas, and yours seems so insignificant. So I love the
Absolutely.
fact that you used food as I think we all need a different hook in or a different point of entry into this lifestyle, and whether it's food or if you've been and listened to something clicked in the mind, or a relationship breakdown or breakthrough, or even if it's through knowledge and education. I think what would be your advice as a man? What would be the things that you would absolutely love to see happening in this world as we move forward, not only for your fellow men, but for us women and also for children? What's your big picture?
I just think going through what I've gone through, I think you've got to put your hand up for help. You've got to ask for advice in life. You can't solve this crazy planet by yourself. You've got to put your hand up, ask for help. Kimmy, I'm very vulnerable. I just put it out there, and that's just the way it has to be. You've got to just be who you are, and ask for help, and be on one level with everyone, and genuine people will help each other. That's how we're meant to live. I think we're all fast-paced society. We all come home, we just shut the door, and we don't talk to our neighbours like the old days. And we've just lost the art of communication. And communication and education is the key. Go and educate yourself. Turn off the TV, pick up a book, and research whatever you like. Just research it and become a better version of yourself, and help everyone get on better. We just need to change the way we're doing things because it's unsustainable. And the hospitals are sick and overflowing. Everywhere you look, there's new cancer centres popping up. Everyone's looking for a magic bullet. It's just not working. We've just got to go back to basics, back to the way Mother Nature wanted us to survive.
I love the way that you've said it a couple of times on the show today, is that I'm just here to serve. I'm just here to help people. And you say it with such sincerity. Who are the people that are attracted to you? I mean, who are the people that you're serving and that you're helping?
I guess everyone who, it can just be a Facebook message, or can be, like tomorrow night I'm taking a friend down to see Damien. He's down at Shell Harbour with a health gig down there, and she's had some issues. 2 weeks ago she was in hospital. She had half a stomach ripped out, and
oh wow,
they're filling with antibiotics, and I've been helping her for 6 months now, totally free. It's just what I want to do, and she's starting to get it. She's starting to come around, and just offering little recipes, or pick up the phone whenever you want to chat, and she does. And male or female, it doesn't matter. Just I see someone in a bit of a bind, I'll just offer as much I can, and if they're genuine, if they want to help themselves and that ripple effect, they want to help their family, and so I've got some big plans for a few people, and I'll need to discuss that with Cindy down the track. But I'm just going to skip a few rungs on the ladder, and I've got some plans of helping some people that a bit like the Terry Walls scenario. I'm going to just jump in the deep end and run something past Cindy later. But there's so many people out there that just need help and need guidance and direction. If I can just offer a little bit, or it just floats my boat.
And in terms of your business and what you do with the work that you do, fill us in on that.
I'm currently ongoing sea change. I've run a carpet cleaning business in Sydney for 20 odd years, and I've got a huge clientele, and that's on an automatic pilot, but that just doesn't serve me anymore. These days I spend more time going through people's pantries and cupboards and giving them the lecture. It could be a 3-hour carpet job, but I'm there all day having the health talk, and it's, there's people there's people everywhere. Just and I guess before I just didn't they weren't in my radar, but when they see you 50 kilos lighter and they haven't seen you for 12 months, it's not about the carpet cleaning. It's about, oh my God, what have you done? How did you do it? And we sit there and have a cuppa, and time just flies. And I've got to ring up a customer and say, look, I can't make it today because I've been sitting here all day with this customer. And my customers have given me another avenue of how to serve them. I'm enjoying, helping them with their health rather than cleaning their bloody carpets. Like, who wants to do that?
It definitely sounds worlds apart in terms of its fulfillment for you.
Yeah, so I've got a ready clientele just sitting there waiting to get some help, and it's amazing. The universe has just brought these people to me that were already there in just a different fashion now. And on top of that, they're referring me to their family or someone having issues, and there's just so much scope in just helping people.
Okay, so you're already in the house. I really like that, Stuart. You don't have to put your foot in the door. You're already in there. And you know what, that's exciting. And as Karen always says, we're put in the right place at the right time for the right people. And I don't think those people that you've been cleaning their carpets for realise how lucky that they're going to be. Because I know your growth journey. We all do. The three of us know your growth journey, and I'm watching you in the nutrition course and what you put up on our private forum and how you're helping other people. Actually, there's a couple of you in there that I watch you. You write notes for people, you give ideas to people, and you're always in there. And I think people like that are the ones that are going to make the most amount of impact or ripple effect, which is what we're trying to do. We have to start standing up. Someone's got to start educating people, because what I've been learning within the documentary is that unless we wake up and unless we have people that are examples of waking up, then our society is just going to get sicker and sicker, and the burden's going to go on the ones that are already well. So I know that you're already in there, Stuart. You've got your foot past the door. You're in. Well done.
Yeah, that's just something. I've been blessed with a steady flow of clients that way. But I've got some ideas of how to serve chiropractic clientele, or I have a specific massage once a week, and I've done that for 3 years to reset my body. And there's so many, we chat, my therapist, and we've got so many sort of ideas we're floating around where we can sort of help each other.
Stuart, do you think what do you say to the woman that's listening to this, dreaming? She's probably just about driven off the road, dreaming of a man like you now, but she's sitting there and she's got a husband at home that's really not into this, thinks it's all a load of cobwobble, and is not interested in changing, constantly challenges you on everything you're saying and doing, and doesn't believe in it. What's your advice?
Well, tell them to give me a call. I think at the end of the day, we've got to stop lying to ourselves. We've got to get real. When you get backed into a corner, you come out fighting. If you don't know, if you're scared, you'll always fire back a response. If you're not willing to take that step and figure it out for yourself, you'll always have an argument. And I was probably like that. I always had an opinion, and rather than taking advice, I think blokes in general have just got to pull your head in and wake up and take a good hard look at yourself, your life, your relationship. Is it serving you? Are you being the best version of yourself? If you're not, then get some bloody help.
What if they think they are, though? Because there's a lot of men that walk Mooloolaba Beach in what I'd call budgie smugglers, and they think they're the absolute cat's pajamas and the specimen of health. Where, like a lot of men actually do think, they wouldn't put it in there if it was going to hurt you. There's nothing wrong with having diet drinks. There's nothing wrong with having a quick meal. There's nothing wrong with pizza and beer. I mean, it's all very good and well. Like you say, if we hit rock bottom, we might get woken up. But what about the man that's just going through life and thinks that everything's fine? And it's the wife, partner's freaking.
Yeah, that's a really good question, Kim. What do we do with our stubborn male population? I feel for the females who are trying to knock some sense into their blokes, but unfortunately, like myself and everyone I've listened to I've listened to 10,000, 20,000 hours worth of podcasts. I've listened to Jimmy Moore's 1,000 episodes. I've listened to all the episodes of all the couch genres. Everyone has to hit a rock bottom to have a bit of an awakening. You just can't get through. We're a stubborn thing. We until something happens. Everyone's journey I've been blessed to be part of. They've had some sort of rock bottom, like Karen's experience, and Cindy with a family, and so much. I'm learning so much from everyone. It's not an easy ride. You've got to go through something, some adversity to have that awakening. And the right people will come to you. I've made myself sick trying to help everyone. You just can't do that. You've just got to back off and be thankful for those that genuinely come to you for help. They're the ones that you can help, and you can only help so many people. But all you can do is lead by example, put the message out there, and people will filter through at different phases in their life. and that's the best part of it. I've got to keep growing and learning and fine-tuning to be able to do that. If I think I've solved it or my job's done, then it's not going to help anyone.
And Stuart, some people will never wake up. And we have to realise that as coaches, as people who want to give information, as examples, they don't care and they will never wake up. And I think it's about women and men whose partners are not waking up, perhaps realising that they're not, and to either accept them as they are and to continue on your journey. But I think what the hardest thing is when the partners have children and what they want those children to have as far as healthcare goes. And that's, I think, the hardest part. Stuart, we haven't asked, do you have children?
No. Thankfully, I don't have any because I'm pretty busy, and we went down the IVF path years ago and spent a bucket load of money, and it wasn't for us. And we didn't adopt because I got a wayward sister and she was adopted, so that turned me right off that one. So we could have adopted. We just chose that path of being footloose and fancy free. But and you do have your sort of moments where Christmas time you wish you had kids, and but no, it's taken a bit of the complexity out of it. It's just the two of us, which you're in each other's pockets a bit more because.
Yeah, but I think it also makes it easier for just to let whoever it is with you to do what they're doing versus what you're doing, and sometimes that then continues on down the road, and it doesn't serve either of you to be together, or it may serve both of you to be together, because remember, opposites attract. But when you have children, I think it's so important for people to have the conversation, I believe, before the marriage as regards to how we're going to bring these children up. The hardest part is when one changes when in the marriage, after the children are born. And I'm seeing this more and more and more. And then it's perhaps going, well, how can we do that? Or even in a divorce where you've got them week on, week off. And I know of one family where, the male in the family is just so pedantic about the food, about everything that is those children have. They don't get television time. It is all about games and a very different life to when they go home to the mother. So, this is tough. This is a really tough thing. And maybe both you and Karen can put some insight in, and Kim, the relationship whisperer. Maybe the three of you can put some light on this. What do we do when we're in this situation?
Arsenic.
Yeah, we do. We do struggle. Like, we've had some ding-dongs, and we've had some weeks where we don't talk, and you end up quite sick, and you want to go to a padded cell and turn the light out for a week, and you've just got to start talking to yourself, is this what I really want? And right now, I'm, to be honest, I'm not really where I want to be, and sharing that on a podcast is pretty
brave,
pretty confronting. But hey, it's being authentic and it's being real, and if you don't accept that and you don't let people know about it, then you'll never solve it. If you bottle everything up, it's not going to go away. It's just going to manifest into something bigger. And I do know people that have had kids, and the parent time, the father feeds the kid crap, and the mother's trying hard all week, and all her good work's undone for a few days, and they hand each other back. And the poor kid's just going to grow up. He doesn't know whether he's Arthur or Martha, and what's going to happen when he hits school. And every second family these days has got dysfunctional parents or whatever. It's just, I've been blessed with a pretty standard upbringing. It's probably grounded me a little bit that way, but you just see it in society. It's just another hurdle for families these days.
I think to be honest with you, I think it's if we take away the battle, if we take away the fact that we're up for a battle and just live our own truth and stay in our own business and being the best that we can possibly be. I've known families that where the wife is very much like this, and the children, even though they might think it's fun going to dad's and getting all the garbage or whatever, if she stays true to herself or vice versa, you stay true to yourself and just, oh, that's interesting, because we don't have control. We have to remember that those children have chosen this path with a broken family. I know that we don't choose that, but for whatever reason, this is their life. And we have to remember that they have to create their own decisions. And if you stay true and are sounded a wonderful soundboard as opposed to a lecturer and question, how does your body feel? Oh, that's interesting. What did you think when you ate that? And you know, never mind when mum or dad yells, and how does that make you feel? And if we remind them of creating their own mindset rather than us putting our own opinions into them, then I think that is the role of those challenging relationships. That is a role for everybody. So I think the key there is to perhaps not look for it as a battle and keep doing what feels right for you, and by being the example, maybe, hopefully, there might be change, and if not, there's not.
Yeah, that's it. It's just, as you said, you have to be true to yourself, and the universe will figure it out for you, and will you'll both make the best decision. It's just a fascinating journey.
And I think that there are no mistakes in anything that occurs in our experience. Everything.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
I was.
I've been hanging here waiting for it.
Keep going, Miss Karen.
I'm glad that I didn't disappoint. You know, I think that life is full of contrast, and it adds richness and it adds texture to the journey. I think that the problem that we have, and it's just the way that we have been conditioned to respond to certain things. You know, I got blown up and the conditioning was that I would feel depression and post-traumatic stress. Now, was that the only choice for me? No, not at all. But that was part of what I was educated in responding with. And I think that our educated responses around breakups and around trouble and around concerns and misalignments, you know, I think it leaves a lot to be desired, because it doesn't actually leave us with much choice. When realistically speaking, we can be going through anything in life and we can just look at it for the experience that it is and then choose whichever way we want to go out of freedom and out of wanting to experience everything that life has to offer. And if in that moment we want to experience the richness of sadness, we do. And if we want to experience the richness of anger or frustration, that's what we do. But we do it from the point of view of choice rather than the point of view of compulsion. Because our emotions oftentimes are very compulsive and they're very impulsive, where they're not experienced through choice. So everything happens for a reason, to give us contrast, to give us texture, and it adds flavour to the nature of life. And if we could just begin to see our experiences that way, rather than, you know, seeing our experiences as debilitating. And I think, Stuart, you are a classic example of that. You know, you have been very open on the show and you have been very willing to share what's going on for you. But I think that the magical part about what you're doing is you're basically saying, well, I'm open. I'm here and I'm open, and it will be what it will be. And I know I'm not necessarily going to be in the driver's seat all the time.
That's it.
So I think that's amazing, and I wish that for everybody. I really do. I wish that kind of surrender, that kind of peace for everybody, because it really is within all of our reach. It's just whether we extend our arms for it or we don't, or whether we choose to continue to revisit our past conditioning or we don't. You know, so hats off to you, buddy. Kudos.
Woohoo!
It's just another feather in your cap of the We Love Stuart fan club.
So, Stuart,
where
is your podcast? Your website and Facebook page, and what's your ultimate goal with that?
People can find me at yourhealthandwellness.com.au. It needs a bit of work. I'm just slowly getting through it. Business Facebook page is the same, Your Health and Wellness. Or you can catch me, just say hey on my personal one, Stuart Gough. Happy to connect like-minded people. Yeah, I'm just want to learn from people and share, and just that side of the social media. I'm just, as I said, I'm just opening up, and I put some crazy stuff up, and who cares if someone doesn't like it that particular day? It's just what I was believing in and feeling that day. That's fine by me. I'm learning just to be who I am, and I see other people do the same, and I just love it. And it's all about finding yourself, and I'm just really happy in myself. I'm nothing phases me much these days. I just go with the flow. I'm practically like a Zen monk. I love it.
I love that. Oh, that's so cool. Well,
you actually sound like a Zen monk too.
Oh, it's mesmerising, isn't it?
I'm sitting in my car, legs across the seat. I'm loving it.
Good.
Yeah, but you didn't think you were going to be spending your afternoon talking to us on a podcast on the side of a road, did you, hey?
Whoa, you'll cop it in Melbourne, I tell you.
We look forward to it.
We're recording this.
I'm looking forward to catching up.
Just before the Wellness Summit, we've just recorded this, so we are all looking forward to big squeezes with you, Stewie.
Definitely, plenty of cuddles all around.
You're a remarkable man, and we feel very privileged to be in your company and to have witnessed and been a part of the journey with you. And here's to lots more to come, hey?
Thank you. I love you all.
Oh, we love you too. So for everybody who's been listening to today's show, clap your hands.
Yeah, here's to the boys out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure that you go and visit Stuart's website, and you also check him out on Facebook. Connect with somebody who is just an absolute dream. So again, it's Stuart Gough, and it's Stuart, and then his last name is Gough. So you can track him down personally, or you can go to yourhealthandwellness.com.au. So yourhealthandwellness.com.au. So hopefully you guys will connect with Stuart, and hopefully you've really loved the podcast as much as we've loved bringing it to you today. Join us here next week on Up For It. No, I haven't even told you where to make your comments. Oh my goodness, I forgot my usual speech. So go to our Facebook page at allthews.facebook.com/UpForAChat. Post your comments, post any questions about Stuart or for Stuart, and we'll get them across to him. Also, feel free to mention any questions or any topics that you'd like us to cover for you. You guys have been amazing with that, so keep them coming. You can also post your comments at allthews.thewellnesscouch.com/UpForAChat. And join us here next week, everybody. Become part of the ripple effect that's changing the world. We're going to see you on the ride, and make sure you tell everybody that you know to see us on the ride. All our love. Bye for now.
This has been a production of TheWellnessCouch.com. Check us out on Facebook and join in the conversation on Facebook.com/TheWellnessCouch. Subscribe to each show on iTunes and check us out on Twitter. The Wellness Couch, streaming wellness into your lives.
Whilst the Wellness Couch presenter endeavored to provide accurate and helpful information to their listeners, these podcasts cannot take into account individual circumstances and are not intended to be a substitute for health and medical advice from a qualified health professional. You should always seek the advice of a qualified health professional before acting on any of the information provided by any of the Wellness Couch podcasts.